sounds. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my psychedelic laboratory. So, we started a little project here to demonstrate the power of outer limits. And
Welcome to the Outer Limits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we got a track started with some of the sounds of outer limits. First off, we got the bass. And I call it the perfect bass because it's really nice. And what's cool about it is it's literally like there's no processing on this whatsoever. Like it's just really getting the amount of fundamental right. I mean, and you can still control that. I made a spelling mistake. I'm gonna have to update that. My OCD won't let me make a spelling mistake. So yeah, basically we got this lovely psi bass waveform along with the fundamental separated. So as you can see here in the bin section, this fundamental is missing. So you just pull that down, then it removes the fundamental. And yeah, so basically you can copy the waveform. Whoops. Little new to the interface here. I think as everyone is, it's quite the eyeful, you know, if you've been used to Serum for so many years, it's like all this extra stuff. So bear with me if I'm still a little choppy with this thing. So yeah, so if you look in here, so you can see in the bin one, our fundamental. So it's just a sine wave matched to be approximately the level, and then you got your phase control right here. So yeah, it's just separated so you can control that individually. And if you can see here, there's like a little LFO that's kind of knocking out the initial stage, like kind of like a slow attack. So the sub only kicks in a little bit later, so it keeps the transient clean. The headphones I could use a little boost. But overall, it looks really good in the spectrum.
Nice. Do you need to kind of like adjust it for like different keys or BPMs? For example, like if I have like a lower key, I usually make the fundamental more equal to the second harmonic, and if I have like a higher key, I think I go more with a little bit more fundamental. So do you have like tricks on that, or?
Well, that's exactly what you could do right here. I mean, this is the fundamental control. So look, I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt to set this up as a macro, but you could basically just pull this level down here. Right? So that's the max level from this. So when it hits the top of this, it's hitting the max level right here. So basically, yeah, you basically set the amount of fundamental by pulling that up and down. I mean, I should set that up on a macro. Wait a sec. So actually, no, it isn't that much of a pain in the butt to set here. I'm just gonna reload the patch so I have the initial level exactly where I wanted it. Okay, so LFO2 to level 2. So I'll go into the matrix, LFO2 to be level via aux source. Where is it? Macro 3. Sub level. I'm gonna change my. So I'll update this. Actually, I just sent out an update to everyone who purchased the pack for the ARP lab. So as over the next few weeks, as things develop, I will add some updates and some goodies. Also, I'm thinking that I want to retain the Serum 1 compatibility on the main pack, just because why like take it and then make it not compatible with Serum 1 at this stage? It's still too early, as some people are probably still like haven't transitioned yet. But what I will do is I will make a bonus set of patches for Serum 2 using some of the elements from ARP Lab and from Noisescapes. And that's going to be very exciting now. Like Noisescapes with these new oscillators, it was like literally made for that. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But so yeah, so this bass, yeah, for me, it's pretty awesome. So now this is set up as a right now, no sub. So if I want, I could basically set that all the way and then probably put that around to where but I still just find that super cool to be able to like make a patch that's like pretty much good to go without even like having to put like any processing or EQs or I mean very minimal EQ. Obviously at a certain point you'll be like, okay, I need to boost a little bit here or there or whatever, but it's like maybe I'll turn on. Yeah, it looks super nice. Man, this new Serum 2 is just out of this world, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool features. To be honest, I like the visual appearance of the old one actually more. I like this kind of like plain Ableton thing, you know, like when there's not like shadows and 3D things in it. But I mean, it looks amazing. It's just like it takes, for me, like everything takes like a second longer to look at somehow.
Yeah, that is true. You know, like my biggest worry about this new addition to the Serum world is it definitely has a much bigger learning curve, and it's just so much more like daunting to new users. I could see this being really like an issue for like, you know, introduction to synthesizers, which I've been always using Serum because it's an absolutely great tool because it's like it's got a great visual feedback. So like everything you're doing, you can kind of see it, how it's being uh affecting the sound in a way, or like it gives you like some kind of like a feedback to like understand more what's going on, you know, with your envelopes and your LFOs and what have you. And I mean, this does have that too, but it's just so much more busy that if you've never seen a synthesizer before in your life and you're like, hey, I want to get into making electronic music, you know, you're going to be like, go cross-eyed. And I mean, Serum is just perfect because, you know, it's like, it's got that easy enough to get someone into it, but then you could go far enough to basically like make any sound you want. So you kind of get like that really nice best of both worlds kind of scenario that's just absolutely perfect for new students to come in with literally no experience, and after however long it takes, you know, actually come out with something to be like, hey, I can make some like proper electronic music. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine this working very good on like an old PC laptop or like even Mac. Like like, what's the requirements for this? I can't imagine it's very easy on a slow computer.
Yeah, but it's a fucking beast. There's like many synthesizers which really kind of like sound good, but they have like such a bad graphical user interface. For example, like UHE, I find like the synthesizers they are like the worst when it comes to like graphical user interface. It's like a million buttons. And Serum, yeah,
Yeah.
it's indeed it's so nice and simple, and you can see everything. It's amazing.
I mean, for me, this is all like icing on the cake. It's extra icing, you know, like I've been using Serum for 10 years. And like even while like Serum for me has still always been the king, you know, like over the last few years, I think you know, other competitors have come in, made similar products kind of using the ideas of Serum, you know, obviously we've got Vital, which is kind of a like almost like a clone of Serum, let's just be honest. Then you got like Phase Plant and uh what's that one by Arturia again?
Pigments.
Pigments, yeah. Current, you know, all these like they've obviously kind of piggybacked off the ideas of Serum and, you know, tried to take things in different directions and what have you, add new style to it. That's yeah, that's also why I've released, you know, this pack with Serum. Like obviously funny the timing, but yeah, but like yeah, but I've really kind of stuck by Serum. So for me, like this is like yeah, it's really just like icing on the cake. You know, like I'm so used to Serum, like I'm just like a freaking ninja with this thing. I can get around it all over the place. So uh yeah, like all the extra features is just like okay, it's some new things to do, but it's like it's not taking away from my original workflow.
Fully agree. I mean, I also use it like 90% of the time. And in the course I do with Morse, we also only use Serum. It's just like
Yeah,
simple and works. Yeah, let's go back to the track before we go too far.
yeah.
In the,
Well, it was a good conversation.
yeah, I think.
So yeah, basically Serum 2. So what does this track need in your opinion? What do we got this little open space here, so all right, so let's try maybe we'll move this one aside. We'll try to come up with a new ARP using ARP Lab. So let's just drop that in. We can loop that. ARP Lab. Oh, my default is still Serum 1. All right. So what I have put together here is a big collection of ARPs, ARP patterns for Serum 2. And not only do they come as ARP format, but now they come also as LFO shapes in the legacy style. So we can still have all the glides and all that, because that's what makes this really cool, because we could do like very precise glides between the notes by doing like drawing them as slides. So it has a different feeling than um the ARP patterns. Unless I don't know if the ARP does glides yet. I still have to experiment. See, we got these like rip, rip, rip. So these are super cool. So for those who don't know how to set up ARPs in Serum's LFO, obviously you load it into a LFO. And what this is this grid It's basically divided into 16 and 24 semitones. So to fix that, we need to go here and go 16 times 24. It is 16 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're in a musical division, right, for our 4/4 music, as well as a melodic division, which is 24. So now this pitch range is divided into 24 increments, which we are going to assign to be semitones. Now, as we do this, this middle line is going to be our 0. So we got an octave up and an octave down. And that 0 line means that when we push a key on our button, that's the 0 line, right? So by doing that, we're going to assign this to the course, right, in the matrix. I think actually by default now, oh my God, okay, they've literally just like, they've sorted out so many things. My God, this is like absolutely amazing. So now by default, this pitch range is set to be -12 and plus 12. A course pitch 19%. So you don't have to type it anymore. Before you used to have to go 24 ST, and then that would give you 19% and 24 range, which is -12 and plus 12. But now it's set by default. Oh, oh my God. So anyways, so basically if you're still using Serum 1, that is the key, right? -12 plus 12. So you have to type in 24 ST. Or if you want one octave, you can go 12 ST, right? Okay, I just kind of screwed that up. See, but for that, you would do the polarity to be positive. So now this bottom line is now your 0, and you have 12 semitones up. Get it? Because now the polarity is at 0, and it's only positive polarity. So that means our 0 line, our middle line, is our root note that we're hitting whatever key, and the polarity goes up. Unless you want to do the inverse, which you could do minus, and in which case you can go down. But okay, we're making things too complicated. So anyways, 24 ST, that gives us 19%. We see our range there. So now, and the polarity to be unipolar, so now the poles go positive, negative, and that is our 0 line. Capiche? Capiche. All right. So, well, let me just get a little musical typing keyboard. Ooh, that sounds lovely. I don't know why. I did some comparisons. It's hard to tell the difference, but I really feel like they improved the sound engine just a little bit. Like the filters, like especially when you like you got some distortion and you bring this up, like in this area here, like you could really hear like it feels like less like digital. Isn't that just beautiful? Like just like that, you know? Like we got some like gnarly filter action going on just That diode distortion, man, it's beautiful. I don't know, like I'm pretty sure they like I tried to run some comparison. Like I can tell a little difference, but I don't know if it's just like my brain tricking me because I'm like, oh, it's new and it looks new, so I'm like hearing it differently. I'm just like, but what is definitely better, man, this plate reverb. And they fix that up real nice. And what's actually insane too is now you can basically have an infinite amount of effects, infinite amount of effects. Well, obviously until your CPU gets cooked, but then or maybe there is a limit. I don't know, but anyways, you could copy these, and then you could start routing them through buses, and then you even have like a splitter. So basically, like you got like bands, low, mid, high. So you can basically use a crossover here and split your sound into different layers and put effects on each layer. It's absolutely crazy. This is just like beautiful as hell. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, what's so cool now is too, is like you don't have to hit Alt to like scroll through these. Oh, and then on top of that here, let's bust out some of these nice shapes that I've got for modulation. Sequence modulators. I like the ramping up tension. It's kind of like almost like that. You can put this nice and slow. I could top that up with another slight little envelope. Got kind of plucks. Got a collection of little plucks here. Kind of put that on, put that to 16th, even just a little bit, just to kind of give a little bit of All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put LFO3, so I'm going to put it via LFO2. So basically, this LFO is going to control the amount of this one. Oh my God, that sounds so beautiful. Yeah, it's almost, it just feels like it's like just like an endless uh, idea pool.
Yeah, but
But
it's really nice because I know I don't do much sound design, not like you, but I noticed there's like always like this chicken egg problem. Like you don't know if the sound design is good unless you know that the melody is kind of like good in the rhythm. And I think that makes
mm,
it so much easier because you already solved like one problem, you can design a sound to it, and then later, if you still want, change the melody or the things apply to
well,
the big lights.
the first thing do is basically just working with saw wave, like try not to overcomplicate the synthesis and just work with like the melody and like the filter and stuff like that. And because you find like the saw wave, I mean, it's a full spectrum of harmonics, so you can get quite a lot out of it. And like, yeah, I just find it's like important to realize that the timbre is kind of interchangeable. Like you put a melody, you put a rhythm, and you could like at that a certain point you could just kind of flip through the wave tables, flip through the timbre, and it actually becomes like almost like less important than the actual music content and the context of how you're using it. So yeah, okay, this track is in it's in Phrygian. I'm not sure if it's in Phrygian dominant. Let's just So yeah, also just to know, yeah, I mean, so we got all these. So basically, you could just go bypass. So now it's being disabled, and then we could just open this up right here, and we got them all. You got to click this little button here. It took me so long to figure this out. I'm like, ARP on, on. No, you got to turn it on here. And now the obvious difference between, well, it's obvious to me anyways, but the difference between using the ARP here, that's sending a trigger via like a gate trigger, versus using the LFO, is that when you play it through the LFO, your trigger starts when you hit the key once. And it starts playing a cycle of this oscillator. So you're just hitting one key, and this oscillator is being uninterrupted, right? The phase is just staying constant because you're just hitting the one key. So you're just affecting the pitch. Well, it's not constant, but you know what I mean? It's not re-triggering the phase. It's not re-triggering this envelope here, which is normal to the master. Right? You hit it once. See, right now when we're playing through this, we can see this envelope trigger. When I disable, so when I disable this, we're just getting one trigger from when you hit the key once. And I'm going to activate. So it's just receiving one trigger, and it's playing the different notes. Whereas here, I'm gonna bypass. And also for that to work interchangeably, you would have to set the you'd have to set this to free, because now it's receiving multiple triggers. So before it was on retrig, so it didn't matter because it was just going to play through as you held the key down. But now that it's receiving triggers from these different notes, you're going to want to set the envelopes to be free. So And there's 4 banks per key, per scale. Let's give that one a whirl. We're playing in C there, but. It's almost it's just there we go. That was easy. Yeah, and as you see, I got like variations of the same pattern. So
do they need to transpose it with the transpose feature on the right side, or is it kind of like the...
No. That I originally started doing them as clips because I used your MIDI to LFO converter to LFO to MIDI converter from Serum 1 to export those LFO patterns into MIDI, which was absolutely helpful as hell. So thank you so much for that, Psiger. You basically, I mean, it took me like 20 hours to do all the hard work, but you basically cut that down by at least like quadruple what it would have been to have to sit there and like zoom into Serum's LFO and pick apart each note. Oh my god, that would have been such a nightmare. At that point, it would have been better just to start over. So you literally like made this happen. So I originally dragged all those MIDI files into here. I got all the MIDI patterns, but then I realized that this does not. You could transpose it here,
yeah,
but it doesn't key track, right?
Yeah, so that's like what I noticed first on the clip view as well. So I thought actually it was pretty useless, but the ARP thing is kind of like doing the transposition. But yeah, explain it one time for the guys. I don't know.
Yeah, so exactly. So now with this, if I'm in the key of G, I push G. If I'm in F, I push F, and it tracks all the notes. So, I mean, what more do you want?
It's an amazing thing. It's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, like I said, I had them as clips, and I was like, no, wait, because I took me a bit to figure it out, because I was like, okay, like, can I actually draw the proper pattern here? And yeah, it turns out you can. It was actually, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I figured out how to do it, because the original setting is not set up like this. Let me just open up a new one, but I think I kind of just had to push random buttons until I figured it out. And that's how it works, eh? New software. So give me a break. So when you go, okay. I'm just gonna go init preset. So if I go here into the ARP and I go, okay, so first of all, you have to go into pattern and you open this up. Okay, yeah, here. So the default, you have to set this range to be 24. And then you have to, I don't know how to like scale this down still myself. Ah, there. So you got to pull it to the right. There you go. You pull it left and right. There we go. We're all learning together. Okay, so yeah, okay, so you pull that to the right, and then you have to set this pitch to 1. So now each pitch represents 1 note. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't work how you think it would. So let me just pull the default. Oh, what am I doing? Set. Yeah, here we go. Init preset. So ARP pattern shape. So let's just play a typical Phrygian kind of easy pattern there. Just to get something out. So as you can see, it's not producing any notes. So you have to. So yeah, just FYI to everyone out there, that's how you get this to work like a normal keyboard, like you would expect. So yeah, so I mean, I would basically make little variations of this by duplicating it. I mean, I wonder if there is a way to switch patterns as you play it. I'm still trying to learn. Like, I don't know how to switch these patterns here. I know there's a little button to do it here, but I don't know how to do that like in your patch. So I'm gonna have to learn how to do that. In the meantime, just to be proactive without going into a spiral of having to figure stuff out, I'm just gonna make a copy of it. So we can make a little variation of this pattern. And if I keep all the modulation the same, it should essentially, follow the same pattern. So if this one is playing Temple of Now, let's try this one. Maybe we can bring this one here like this and alternate. And then maybe we can make a third one and put that on these guys here. So we're going to get an alternation. Okay, so there we go. So let's put a third one to be this pattern. Let's try number 1. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, this is too long. Okay, no, so that's what I wanted to do here, here, and then back here. Back. Yay. So that's our main back and forth. and then I make variation here. There you go. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. So, what else can we explore? Should we check out more art patterns? Try a different kind of.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that the third one oh, you mean like an additional one, like a counter melody or to it?
Sure. Let's see what we got here. Maybe a totally different kind of synthesis. Let's see what we got. Yeah, let's try this. Here, I'll just swap this out for something in Phrygian or Phrygian dominant. Okay, no wonder this is just controlling the filter. It's not even controlling the pitch at all. So this is just a gate, and then this is the melody here. Okay, so Phrygian dominant. So I'm going to divide this into 24. I could just remove this destination altogether and we could try the ARPs. Yeah, it sounds beautiful.
Nice.
Damn. So actually, I'm gonna save this. Yeah, I think in the light of Outer Limits coming out just before Serum to arrive, I'm going to make. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to destroy the compatibility with Serum 1. It's kind of stupid, you know. You make a pack for Serum 1 and then, you know, like if I start redoing them in Serum 2, all the people left over from Serum 1 are not going to be able to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bonus bank where I'm going to remix some of the patches for Serum 2 and maybe add a couple new ones, but leave the original intact so that it's still like 100% compatible with Serum 1. Serum 2 remix. Should I put 3 X's? Remix.
Definitely. It's like Amsterdam has like 3
Yeah, exactly. Remix. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So that in combination. Yeah, I'm just gonna make my whole life a whole lot easier. I'm just gonna make a track stack. Also known as a group track in Ableton. So now I can mix it with one knob.
It's an amazing pack which you can get. I already checked it out and it's really nice and I can really recommend to you guys. And if you want to support Vincent, you find a link in the description box below where you can buy it. You will also find a link in the description box below to a video which we recorded before Serum 2 came out. You won't find this on the internet. If you click on it and leave your email address, I will send you this kind of like private recording which you cannot find anywhere else. Then if you want to see more about the other packs, then you can click on the next video and you see more about the other packs, how to jam with those and how to use them.